Hi, Dreams. Take one. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We are here. And today we're doing something a little different, right? We're going to do a little roundabout with our questioning and kind of see what we both think about some topics. So, you ready?
Hey man, I want to know that.
Oh, we're going to see. Okay, here we go. So, take two. What do you have for us?
So let's see. My thought is, do most people that are not, or most of the average height people, always consider when they see you as an athlete? Like regardless of how you're dressed, whatever you're doing. Like if I'm at a basketball game, you ask that, that's fine. But are you gonna always be considered as an athlete?
I would have to say yes. The answer is yes, a resounding 100% yes.
Sometimes I'm
Always
considered an athlete.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, yeah, as we know because of our height, that is, I think people just equate that with sport, particularly with basketball, right? Or volleyball.
My height just make me tall.
That's true, but I do feel like, I think most people
You're automatically an
say
athlete,
athlete.
even at whatever
Yeah,
age.
yeah. And it's like you said, that's a good point. At any age, right? Like, is that question still relevant?
I just
At
got
any
it
age.
yesterday.
I
know you play basketball. I can hear though. I can hear.
Uh-huh.
So, but it's not. It is not offensive because I did play basketball and I love basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's like, at what point
Mm-hmm.
do you not have to just reference height in sports? Like, you can just be
it's kind of like tied
it's
together.
synonymous. Yeah, like, there's no way to like separate the two. Which again, I love sports. I actually love sports.
Yeah.
But at what point, like, do I have to be in a wheelchair, cane? Like, what point do I have to?
I think it's just it's part of the definition that people supply for us automatically. So so I think that could tie right into our next question. But yes, I do think. And do you feel like you get the same? Yeah. Okay, so that's a resounding yes. Put your comments below. Let's see what you think about that too.
Or if you're the one to do it, tell us why.
Like maybe that could shed
If
some
you
light.
automatically do it, why?
Yeah, like how so that we get a little bit of background information.
Right.
All right, cool. All right, so moving on to the next one. Take 3. Enjoy this.
No.
Okay, so having said that, my question is, how do we begin to change the conversation? If we've learned or are learning that it's the same, the questioning comes around, the same questions come around, what can we do to help change the conversation? Any thoughts? Just, I don't know why you get me with that. Okay, so.
But it's like, but it's not. I don't think it's on. It's not us. It's the people that we're trying to educate.
Right.
On. You. I don't. At least if you are saying that, like you feel like it's a compliment, make it sound like a compliment. That doesn't, like, at my age, I don't want to be a basketball. I mean, I want to attend
the game, but not be considered still playing the game.
I'm still limping from trying to play against my daughter. It's over. It's over for you.
Okay, so here's my take on what I think we can do, and I actually tried this recently. I feel that we need to be part of the questioning as we are being questioned. That is the only way to assist the conversation in the direction that either we would like it to go or kind of get feedback from the person who's asking. So the other day, I met this guy. He was also tall. We were about the same height. We were the same height. And he approached me and he was like, he's like, how tall are you? And I was like, 16. He came next to me, kind of like checking,
They
do the check.
For some reason, men 6'2" is like 6 feet.
Because he was like,
Like,
and then I could have let it stop there, or I could have just waited for the next question. But I asked him, I said, so what does that mean to you? How do you feel about that?
Right.
And then he was like, oh, I love it. I love it, And I was like, what do you love about it? And then he went into the reasons why, which I won't discuss here. But I mean, it could be a plethora of things. But I mean, it wasn't bad. But I'll just leave it to your imagination.
You know my imagination.
No. But then, so it was almost like I was guiding the conversation and getting the questions that I was curious about, but he initiated the conversation about my height. So I think it could be a way to, direct the conversation in a new way, at least, and even as we get the feedback, like if he says what he liked about it, I was like, oh, okay. And then I even asked him, I said, I'd love to hear more about what you think about it. He's like, yeah, I love it, whatever. So I just felt like it was a way to create more dialogue instead of just answering questions, and feeling like, okay, I've been down this road so many times.
Right.
Now, what do I want to add to that? What value can I place in this conversation?
But I would be interested to know what the people that ask that question, what are you asking that for? Because like you clearly know I don't play basketball anymore. Like, you should clearly know I don't play anymore. So when you're saying that in your situation, that's different. Because if a man said that to me, or the way he came to me like it was opening up the dialogue between the two of us, understandable. But when you're telling me I played basketball, like, walk away.
She's sticking with your answer.
Look and walk away.
So that's okay. So we have a couple different perspectives here. So we love to hear your feedback.
It just depends because like men, most intellectually intellectual men, or in that situation, their intentions are kind of just to start the conversation,
right?
But I know you play basketball. Does that start a conversation? What am I supposed to say back? Did you? Yeah. And then if you say whatever you say back to that, if someone like the approach of that person, anything you say back is gonna mean you're trying to be smart. You're insecure. I'm not insecure. I don't hide. I am 6'4", 5', 6'7" if you want to. Sometimes depends on my mood. Yeah. So it's just in your situation, it was a little bit different because I probably would have handled it similarly to how you did. It would have been conversation. Yeah. But I ain't play basketball.
You know what? Okay, so I'm gonna propose something. So in that situation, maybe something I would say is like yeah or no, yeah. And did you play any sports? Like flip it back to being the questioner instead of the receiver. So that's kind of my take. So so we like to hear.
It depends on the situation because I do entertain that conversation. There was an older lady like in the store, and she's like, did you play basketball? That was different. And I said, I did. Yes, I did. And she was like, where? And I told her, Georgia Southern, or what have you. And that was a different perspective. The way she came in, it sounds like you fed me with honey. Yeah. You didn't sting me and then try to bring me into the beehive.
So that sounds like the key point there. The way the delivery of the question.
You can't bring my pizza to me. You can't be the delivery driver and you hand my pizza in your hand. I'm like, I don't want that.
So we've gotten to the root of, I think, something really specific here. Is the delivery. It's the delivery of that question. Yeah.
Because some of the question has to make sense.
Yeah.
Like you can't walk up to me and ask me, do I wear a 2T? Like you know, too tall.
Right. Yes. No, that's I think really important. Just kind of because again, I think we expect. I would say I expect getting that question, and
we are 1% of the population.
Yeah.
We understand that I stand out.
Yes.
I take advantage of it on occasion because I like attention sometimes. I enjoy it. I'm shy from it. Yeah. But don't ask me stupid questions because my face did not get the message.
It will show
immediately that was a stupid question. Because there are things we can't just walk up to people and ask. Like there are some things that you just would not walk up to other people and ask that they feel confident or comfortable in saying or making the statement.
Okay, so that's our take on it for this little round that we're doing. So stay tuned. We're about to move into the next. All right, you ready to kick it off? Here we go. We're on take 4. All right. All right. What you got for us?
So my next question would be, What do you feel about, say, dating tall or tall dating? Do you desire to only date tall men, or are you open to dating men shorter than you? What's your take on it?
I am definitely my height or taller. I love a tall man. So it's something to do with, well, first of all, like I like wearing heels, so I like my man to be taller than me, or at least my height. I mean, I know I'm tall already, so you know, at least be up in there
You don't
with
have
me.
to justify this.
No, I'm saying like, you know, I'm like I like the guys to still be like up there with me with my height, my heels, and I feel a sense of like comfort and protection and like, you know, and like reaching up.
I know the security that comes with it.
I feel that, and so that's my preference. Now, it's not against anyone else, and something at one point I remember saying shorter is relative. Is relative to your height.
Right.
So it
shorter. When
is.
we say short, it doesn't mean that someone is short. You know,
Right.
we're over 6 feet, so
Yeah.
short to us could be 5'10", 5'11".
Right, exactly.
And that's not technically
and that's not short. Yeah. So it's relative to your own height. So yes,
Right.
for me, I do like my height or taller for guys. Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
But it seems, well, I think we have different auras.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times when I see tall guys, they try to like disconnect eye contact. I'm like, I don't want you no way. You know, I would say that, man. I'm like, I ain't want you no way. Like, I don't know.
And they can be cute too, though.
Usually it's not that. It's not really it's like somebody who's just up there. I was like, I wasn't gonna look at you now.
But I will say, whenever I see a tall man, I have to look. Like it's just automatic. It's eye catching. It's to me, it's really eye catching.
No, that's probably what they do when they see us too.
That's why I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just striking.
It's different though, because you got to think. People like you. I think you mentioned before. Most people are attracted to a tall man, whether you're whatever height. We're not gonna say any heights because I don't want to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are attracted to a tall man.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And ironically, like for me, it's interesting that the tall man is attracted to shorter women, but then it's like we're frowned upon if we were with a shorter man.
So we'll have to expand on that. So but definitely, but yeah. So but before we go on there, dating tall. You are definitely.
I love a tall man.
Okay.
I love a tall man.
All right. And then
but then I love a tall man, like a tall distinguished man.
Okay,
It doesn't have like I'm beyond past like younger.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like tall, athletic.
Yes. Yeah. I
neither one of us need to be playing.
Right.
So I love a tall, distinguished man.
Okay.
And although yes, I've dated guys that were a little shorter than myself, I do prefer them to be taller. And I know it's not impossible. I do prefer them to be taller.
Right. Okay. And I know we had also kind of spoken about men who are shorter than us that. You know,
that's game.
Yeah, they do.
Actually, they have the best game. They have the best
That is true.
game.
That is true. But yeah, so we'd love to hear your thoughts on how you date. Like, tall, does it matter? And I know a lot of people, women, who are with shorter men and are happy. And so it's not about, and I think that's what we definitely want to make a point of.
I actually see more of the taller women with shorter guys than
I think it may have to do potentially with the level of maturity.
Absolutely.
And like what you're looking for.
Right.
Adjust with, you know,
age,
the thing,
time.
age, and yeah, exactly. So I think that's important. I think that's good because then you start looking maybe more at personality and connection, which is still valid regardless of height. I'm not saying that height should trump that by any means, but definitely. And I have to say, for me, perhaps the fact that I'm like, nope, tall, you know, I could be cutting off, you know.
Like people in the church say, blocking your blessings,
yes. You never know. That could be very true. It's just a personal preference.
It is.
Yeah. And, you know, you have to honor thyself, you know, in what you like. But
because everybody else gets what they like, so why not change
so
that?
why, why not? So that's our take on that. So drop the comments below and let us know what you think about dating tall. All right. All right. So ready to move on to the next question? All right. We're on what take? I believe. We're gonna go with that. Okay. So to tie into what we were just talking about, do you think tall in both men and women is regarded as a true attraction, or is it a fetish?
Good question. I think this is my take. My take only. I'm not to be shot. I'm not tall, shorter men. It appears to be a fetish because the approach, like the look in their eyes. You ever seen the cartoons a long time ago? The old school cartoons when the pet or something saw the steak and they that's what like a lot of times when a shorter man approaches you, and they have the best game, like they have the best lines and the best game. You know, so but it's like it's clear it's a fetish because you can see it in their face and their expressions. To me, I think for tall men, I kind of feel the ones that I've always been friends with males or male athletes or whatever, and a lot of them get approached, and I think we discussed before. One of my close friends at the time, he was like, I've never had to. He's like, I like women, but I always had a girlfriend. They always approached me. So I don't think they've had the creative intuitiveness to have to go after
the tall guys.
The tall guys have not had to pursue because they've always had a list of candidates that was
Now I will say to what you're saying, that I believe that tall men across the board it's received as an attraction. It's an attraction, regardless. Whether the woman is tall or short. Yeah. A woman of any height, I would have to say, I stand with that thought, that attracted to tall men. It's just the stature and it's I think there are certain things we automatically place value and our definition of what we think that thing is, and I think height, particularly in men, is looked at as a very distinguished thing and like attractive and and so yes, I think the men get that right away. I don't think it's to some extent it could be a fetish for some, but I think it's more just an attraction. Now for women, I think I agree with you. Shorter men in particular, shorter than us, I think it comes across more like a fetish for real. And particularly, and the proof to that is this type of questions they ask. Right. So in addition to the looks and that, oh my gosh, that feeling that you feel that they're like radiating towards you, it's the kind of questions, and not just questions, the comments, the things they say. But I will say this, I cannot say that I've ever felt offended. No, I've laughed. It's actually a great feeling. It's kind of like the cat and mouse chase thing. Yes, and it's complimentary to me. Yeah, that ties into what you said before about the delivery. It's the delivery. Yeah, because they're pretty much still addressing height. They don't ask as many questions. They actually comment more. Right. They offer the compliments more. Right. And it's said in ways like, don't worry about the height, and we won't go there with everything that we've heard, but which leads back to it's a fetish. It is. The comments but make sometimes it a fetish. I'm like, how did you think of that? Or the times that I was like, I've never heard that before. I'll tell them that. I was like, that's the first time I ever heard that one. That was a good one. I'll give them that, and they're very confident. Right. They do not hesitate to approach. But that actually I love. Yeah. That's the part that I love. I love the creative fortitude to just be like, I don't care nothing about you. I knock you down. I whatever, and I don't even get offended. Like you said, it's the delivery. Okay. I gotta share one. Oh God. I'll climb you. Okay, somebody. I had one that I was with someone, and he was an older guy. That at the time I was probably in my late 20s, and he was like, I gotta get one of them.
And the guy was like, "You can have her." He said, "I ain't trying to die today." I was like, "You can't have nothing. You can't give me away,
right?" So I often find it like entertaining.
It's very entertaining because most of the time the comments that are like just unruly comments are usually women that say like, "Yeah, basketball." Clearly, I don't play basketball, man. Just go ahead and bring up your things so I can get out of here. But it's all in the delivery because I've also had. Did you play basketball?
I think,
and I'm like most of it,
really
and I know I come across like I say something smart, but when somebody say, "Did you play basketball?" I'll be like, or yes, or you know what have you, and answer the question. I'll answer most of the questions until you start going all into the family line. I'm just want to just want to get my bag of chips and get out of here.
So it's true. So I think we've hit the nail on the head with the delivery. And we've given examples of real life stuff that.
It's probably because my daddy was a mailman.
Why?
That I like delivery.
Nothing. Oh yeah. So you know what we'd like to hear? Okay, you know something I'd like to you to drop in the comments. What kind of lines have you heard as a tall woman from shorter guys?
Right.
That could be kind of fun to hear some.
Or if you're a shorter man and you're listening.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Well, we've heard the full gamut, y'all.
So I think we've heard just about everything we can hear.
I would be surprised if there was something I have not heard yet. So
yeah. And if you think you have something that we haven't heard,
that would be cool.
You might have to email that. I don't know.
But beep.
That'll have to be emailed. Dark. That's all after dark. That's a whole other sector of us.
But that's fun to me, and I like that. But yeah, so we're hoping that maybe you have something to add to this conversation, to the topics that we've kind of touched on today.
Or even if you are shorter and you said something to someone and you didn't like their delivery, why?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or you didn't like their response. Like if you ran into me.
Oh, turn the tables, right? Like, how does that make you feel when you ask question, thinking you're asking an innocent question, and you receive like a non-welcoming response? Like, how does that make you feel? Like,
but I don't do that all the time. I'm gonna say that again. I don't do it all the time. But it's the delivery. Don't. When I'm clearly looking like I have about 15 questions I could be asking you right now, but I don't do that. I mean, it's just some things that are.
Okay, so we put it out there. All right, and some of these we may be able to expand on.
We will expand on
the conversation. I think we touched on some good stuff today, right?
Absolutely.
So this is fun, and I'm gonna close that one more time. Hype Trees signing off. Bye. Until next time. We have planted the seed. That's right.
Help us grow it.
Bye. Until next time. All right.